Hi, good afternoon all. Myself Yasin Munir from Pro India.
And we are from Pro India.
कि आपसे यही रिक्वेस्ट है अथॉरिटी से, तो ग्राउंड लेवल से जो चेकिंग हो रही है लिस्ट की, वो एक प्रॉपर ढंग से आ सके और हमें टैक्स से पेपर वर्क से हमें आजादी दी जाए। तो जीएसटी लगा है,
जब से हम लोग के मतलब इतना काम नहीं चलता है।
ये क्या जीएसटी को खत्म किया इसके ऊपर, क्योंकि हम पूरे काम करते हैं, पूरे की सफाई करते हैं। इसके लिए हमने सरकार से ये विनती, हमारी सबसे मेन कड़ी स्वच्छ भारत अभियान के तहत हम लोग आते हैं। एशिया की सबसे बड़ी मार्केट में हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं।
गेट में पूरा भर रहा है, 1.5 महीने से ऐसे ही काम चल रहा था, पूरा उठ रहा है। कोई भी चीज फूटे फूटे है, मिस कैरेज करके ऐसे पूरे में डालने के फायदा की कितना करो, किसी कुवारी को दो ताकि वो हमारे फैक्ट्रियों तक पहुंचे और हम उसको रिसाइकलिंग करके दो हमें रिटर्न करवाए। जल्दी हो सके उसकी जल्दी यहाँ से कोई डाउट है, हम गवर्नमेंट का साथ देंगे, गवर्नमेंट हमारा साथ देगा।
All people raise hands who would like to be a part.
So don't you think it should be upon us to make the change?
प्लास्टिक से होने वाली समस्या समय के साथ गंभीर होती जा रही है।
You have to take the your neighbors when I ask you this question, you can do it. Yeah, to connect classes for every partner and make sure this country is trained. We train you so that you can train. Who will you train? You will train, number one, your parents. You will not only train your parents, you will train your grandparents. You will train your
Yeah, you can start your camera. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon all. Thank you for joining us today for the webinar New Battery Waste Rules 2023, a step-by-step guide to compliance. We have the speaker of the day, Mr. Amit Saha, CEO and founder of Pro India, joining us. So, I request Mr. Amit Saha to start with the presentation.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It's still, oh, sorry, it's a little after 12 o'clock, so not exactly good morning, good afternoon. And I'm hoping that you are able to hear Yasin and me clearly. If you are able to, please, type yes or give a thumbs up that you are able to hear us clearly. Can you hear us clearly? Okay, excellent, excellent. So thank you for joining us. Over the course of next 30 to 40 minutes, we will take you through the battery waste rule and its applicability. But it is important for us to know whether it applies to you or not. So you have to, are you connected in some ways with battery waste? So do you think that battery waste is applicable to you? Can you, if you are, then can you just give a thumbs up that yes, you are connected, or say yes, we are connected? So what will, thank you. So therefore, what will be important for us to know is because we do not know all who have joined in here. I mean, we may have your names and everything, but we do not know the company that you are representing. So in the chat box, if it's possible for you, can you please type in your name and your company name, so that we know that we are what kind of companies have come in, and we'll probably try to give you some reference and some examples from those companies. That'll be really nice, then for you to pick up learning for your own set of products. So is it possible for you to just type in your name and your company name, and probably the company name itself will give us some idea as to whether the applicability is to you or not. So can you just take 1 minute, please, and do the same? We have 35 people on the call, so I'm just expecting, maybe 35 people to just type in your name and the company name that you're representing, so that we are able to give you examples from your company. And maybe you can take a record of that.
Yeah,
Huh?
it's recorded.
Okay, so yeah, I'm still waiting for some chat messages. Are you able to type into the chat box yes or no? Because I'm not seeing any chat box this thing. So do I have?
Yes,
It's coming. Oh, there. Okay, Hemant Chaudhary. So, Mr. Hemant Chaudhary, can you type in your company name? And Derek, can you type in your company name? And also a little bit about, no, if you think that company is, we are manufacturing anything of UPS inverters and MHEs, of course, then definitely applicable. Mangalore Chemicals, okay, Derek from Mangalore Chemicals. Jitendra Das, can you please type in your company name? It'll be nice to know that which company that you are. Um, okay, Priya Paul, company name Recycle. All right. Okay, so let me begin. Let me begin by welcoming you. This is the third in the series of way applicability and the new rules that are coming in. So just to figure out whether application to your company is there or not there with respect to battery waste. We have done something in the electronic waste, and it was an overloaded webinar. There were 250 people, out of which only we could accommodate, uh, I think 100 is a Google Meet. Sorry, 100 is a Meet requirement. So if you really want to, uh, find that as to the applicability of e-waste rules, you could go to the specific YouTube channel that had recorded the entire episode, and we can give you a link of the same. Just one moment, I can show you that. So this one is the same. So this is the channel, and it's a 1 hour video. So this is, so I'm just sharing this with you that it is available. It is also available on our website, so you can go look at that on the website. I'm just going to put it in the chat box, this link for you. You can pick this link up and see it for yourself. And I'm hoping that the link is there. Yeah, so link is there. Also on our website, there is which is proindia.net. Our website is proindia.net. Maybe I'll request Yasin to take that thing and put it on the website, where specifically we had talked about e-waste. So e-waste. And you can put the link.
Yeah,
okay. Sure. So there you have the entire rules, the form to get in touch with us, and also applicability. A lot of FAQs are answered there, and then there is also a way to reach to us in terms of an appointment calendar. You can straight away click to the calendar and reach back to us. So that will be very useful in case you would like to know more about the e-waste rules. We will also do one more session for the e-waste rules applicability, because we had a lot of registrants, but we could not accommodate all of them. So it will be good to definitely have one more such session. I think already this in the chat box you may find that link. Is it there?
Yes.
How come I am not able to see it? It's in the question answer. Okay. So yeah, this one. So if I open this, and I'm sure you can see my screen. Yeah. So it's proindia.net /e waste, and the entire applicability, what is e-waste, policies, rules, producers, SOPs, portal, the entire webinar, everything is right here, including the presentation, which was used on that day. So it's a place where you can find everything, including the links of CPCB, MOEF, and everything else. So I'm just giving you this information so that in case some of you have missed that, e-waste rules is right here. So coming to battery waste, and we have a presentation which Yasin has prepared. I'm going to show some slides and maybe ask him to show the remaining. So here it goes. So this is a rule which has come in 2022. It says rule 2023 come on 22nd August of 2022. So it is it has a structure and it explains what is the application, the definition, what are the roles, what is the function of each of these four major set of stakeholders, which is basically producer, recycler, refurbisher, and one more. What is the other one? The last one. Manufacturer. So manufacturer and producers are different from each other. Recyclers and refurbishers are different from each other, and we will see that today. These are the items that will is covered under the rules. So the first thing is who does it apply to and who doesn't get applied for the same. So the first thing is that it is not applicable to people who are dealing with sending or selling material for defense purposes. Any equipment which is used in defense purposes, the batteries supplied to that, though, so for them the rules do not apply. The other thing is the equipment which is sent to space, like I think Chandrayaan is landing today, most likely on the moon, and we wish it really well, soft landing. So for them the rules do not apply. What rules apply to every battery of every type? Anything which is called battery, rules apply to the same. Other than these two areas, uh, rules are applicable to everyone, and rules are applicable to even import of batteries, and rules are applicable to batteries which are imported as part of equipment. So there's an equipment that you bring in and it has a battery, it is applicable to that as well. So you remember that application is very wide. So I'm just going to the next slide. Sorry. I go to the next slide. So basically, a waste battery means there are four definitions to it, or four conditions to it, either or of off. So used or end of life battery, or its components, spare parts, consumables, which may or may not be hazardous in nature, those are waste batteries. Pre-consumer off-spec battery, let's say some battery has been produced by the factory, but they're off-spec and they have been thrown in the scrapyard. It is applicable to them. Battery which is expired, it's applicable to them. And battery which is discarded by the user, like you and me, from their homes, it is applicable to them also. So it's applicable to a very wide range of batteries. There are four types of batteries in general covered in the rules. The first thing I mentioned to you, that all batteries are covered, but the categorization has been done against these four. So the first one is portable. They are in two types, but important thing is portable is anything which is less than 5 kilograms. That is portable. So portable is 5 kilograms, which is generally used in either consumer purposes, or it is used in like consumer goods, like for example laptops, mobile phones and things like that. And also consumer, we will come to the another category, which is, let's say it could be a let's say UPS or a big power bank, not the small ones, but the big ones at home. Those could be still considered as portable as long as it is less than 5 kg. Automotive is everything which is required to start the auto. There is a difference between automotive battery and electric vehicle battery. Electric vehicle battery runs the entire auto, but automotive battery only starts the auto. So basically it is only meant for starting purposes, the starter and everything, especially in the ignition IC engine type of batteries. You use IC engine type of cars, vehicles, you use automotive batteries. And the last case is industrial battery, is generally a kind of a matrix or a stack of multiple batteries which are put together to enhance the capacity or enhance the voltage in the power bank, and is used as sometimes as a full UPS to main equipment, or it sometimes is used as a charge to, let's say, a windmill or whatever. So now, important. This is a very important slide. This slide is talking about whether you can switch off your this thing video, whether you are liable or responsible or not. Here, the difference between if you have seen plastic waste rules, where largely the brand owners are responsible for all the liabilities and everything. Here, the liability is of a producer. Now, remember that producer and manufacturer are two different categories in battery waste rules, and we'll come to the battery waste rules. But manufacturer can produce a battery, and if it is not labeling the battery in its own name, its own brand name, but selling it to another battery manufacturer or battery aggregator who is putting the name on the battery. Let's say Exide gets the battery manufacturer through a co-packer. So the co-packer could be manufacturer, Exide would become the producer. Producer is the one who has all the liabilities of EPR. So EPR targets are squarely responsibility of the producer. So if you are a manufacturer and also a seller of battery, then automatically you become producer, because producer is the one who's selling the battery. So that is the first category. Second is sale of battery, including refurb battery. So any other manufacturer is giving it to you, but you are selling it, including if you know refurb batteries. It's not that first time, but if suppose you have done some refurb, that also, then also you're a producer. And if you're importing battery as battery, or battery as within an equipment, then also you are a producer. So please do not consider producer in its literal sense. Producer name in battery waste rule means that liability stands in the hand of producer. Okay. Now, and we will take your questions, and I'm sure please post your questions if you have any doubt on this slide or any other. Now I'm going to request Yasin to take this particular slide and talk about, maybe you can switch on your video and switch it off. You can talk about what are the functions of the producer, Yasin.
Yes, thank you, sir. So coming to the functions of producer, it's kind of different from the battery waste and plastic waste, because they have a lot of functions. There are 15 functions they have mentioned in the CPCB. So starting with the first one, the producer shall have their obligation of extended responsibility for the battery that they have introduced in the market. So basically, they're saying that producer is responsible for the EPR. The second one is the producer is again responsible for the collection and recycling and refurbishment targets. So coming to EPR as well as the target, the producer is responsible. The third one is battery cannot be sent for landfilling or incineration. So that is something new they have introduced. Coming to the fourth point, registration has happened to the online centralized portal that they have introduced, that is EPR battery waste. The fifth point is producer shall file for renewal of registration in Form 1A before 60 days of its expiry. So basically, there are 8 forms. That only the 4 forms are needed for the producers. So the form 1A is where will be given for the renewal of the registration. The 6th function of the producer is for information of changes. So you have registered and you have few changes that has to be made in that registration. You will have to inform those to CPCB. The 7th function is that producer shall provide extended producible responsibility plan in the form 1C to CPCB by 30th June of every year. So there is something called as EPR plan that has to be given by the producer. The 8th point is that EPR plan in the form 1C. So as I said, 1A, 1B, 1C, as well as form 3. These 4 forms are applicable to the producers. So in the 1C, we will have to fill in the EPR plan and submit to the CPCB. We have the 9th point of the function of producers for fulfilling EPR obligation. And for fulfilling the EPR obligation, producers can go with deposit refund system or buyback systems. The 10th function is that obligation of meeting the EPR target shall remain with the producer itself. Even though recycler, refurbisher, manufacturer is there, the obligation of meeting the EPR target is with the producer itself. 11th point, annual filing on the 30th June of succeeding year to CPCB and concerned SPCB. Producer including following schedule 1. So we have basically 2 schedules. The first schedule is concerned with the prohibition and labeling, basically the amount of hazardous substances, then labeling requirement, the size of the label. The second schedule is regarding the targets required, targets for each particular year. So the producer has to make sure that the labeling and the amount of hazardous substance in the battery is according to the schedule 1. The 13th function of the producer is that in case of a violation of any rules, producer shall notify CPCB or concerned SPCB. The 14th function of the producer, obligation for domestically recycled material as per rule 414. So we have something called as domestically recycled material. There's a special table for that in the upcoming slides. So it may be after 2 years, if you're making a battery, there should some percentage of the battery, maybe 5 or 10%, should be a domestically recycled material. The last function of the producer is that they shall not deal with any other entity not having registration mandated under these rules.
Okay, thanks, Yasin. So moving forward, there are 2 schedules, Schedule 1 and Schedule 2. These are the schedules that one has to follow, a producer has to follow. Although we are talking about producers all the time, but there are other 4 different stakeholders who are responsible. So we'll come to that. But here we are talking about Schedule 1 is about labeling. So there are certain labeling requirements on the battery as to give that information to consumer, that at the end of life that there has to be a mention to the consumer how to deal with that end of life battery, that it is containing hazardous materials like lead, cadmium, mercury, and also that it has to be disposed of in a certain manner, not disposed in general way to all, like how you put it into the landfill with wet and dry waste. So in the schedule 2, it is more about how to deal with these 4 overall different categories of batteries, like portable, rechargeable, consumer electronics, portable, rechargeable, non-consumer electronics, automotive, industrial, and in the EV specifically, there are 3 types of categories. So overall, there are 7. The 4 has been divided into 7 in form of categories for you, so that they have their individual targets. In EV, they have mentioned 3 types of EVs. One is for e-rickshaw, one is for 2-wheelers, and the other one is for 4-wheelers. So because they have different capacity requirements, different traction, so accordingly, overall 7 different battery types are there. As far as forms are concerned, there are 2 sets of forms. At the time of registration, one has to apply for registration. Then one will get granted registration with the details of your company and everything else. And also you have to create an extended producer's responsibility, because as I mentioned, producer's responsibility is to retrieve and also recycle. Recycling can happen from a third party, but the overall responsibility is contingent on the producer. So those are form number 1A, 1B, 1C, and form number 4 is at the end of annual year. You have to file a return saying that what we have planned is what we have delivered, or we have under delivered or over delivered, whatever. This slide is talking about some recycling standards for use of recycled material in the battery itself. So this is kicking in only in 2027. You don't have to worry about it right now. At this point in time, you have to recycle, but doesn't mean that you have to bring that recycled content back into your battery. So I mean, I don't think there are any battery manufacturers on this call. You are you are mostly a producer who's probably selling the batteries to someone else. But as a producer, you will have to have some recycling content built into the battery starting 27, 28. Now, this is the set of 5 items which talk about how the targets are going to be calculated. So the targets will be calculated based on the life of the battery, first of all. So let's say your battery has a life of 5 years, and it's a rechargeable battery. So, and you are reporting from today. So you are registering today. So you are responsible. The first year that you will be responsible for will be 2017, 2018. So targets will start from that time. So the battery life, one will go back and see when did the battery, did you manufacture anything in 2017, 18? And if you did, then there are certain targets against it. So let's say if the target is 50%, 60% recovery, what the point number 2 says is that you have to recycle 100% of that 50%. That means if you had produced 100 metric tons of batteries in 2017, 2018, you have to recycle 100% of that, whatever be that target that you have defined. Targets are in different years, targets are dependent on certain technologies. Some technologies like lead acid has been very much there all this while. So the targets are bigger. Recovery targets are 70% for lead acid, but for new batteries like lithium ion and all, the targets are much smaller at this point in time. One, because they last longer. Second, because those recyclers are just coming up right now in India. So you can, like in battery, like in plastic waste, you would realize that there is certificates that you can buy, recycling, co-processing, certificates that you could buy from those recyclers and co-processors. Here also you can buy certificates from the recycler. In case you are not able to buy certificates, then you will have to do the entire thing by your own self, which means recovery. You have to demonstrate recovery, buyback, and everything else. So these are the 5 points here. Okay, and there are certain environmental compensations related to not doing, not registering, not following up, not completing your EPR target. So entities which are not registered, they will have EC levy to it. Entities which have given false information and not done and not explained that we have mercury or lead beyond the ppb levels, ppm levels, those will be responsible. Any manipulation, those will be responsible. Entities that are engaged in collection and treatment in respect and not following the handling battery waste properly, those will be put under environmental compensation, which is a nicer word to penalty. So basically this is penalty. Okay, so this is the basic presentation. I would request, if you have some specific questions at this stage, we'll stop here and take some of the questions, and then we will go to the specific rules which are here. Let me just move this a little bit. Yeah, so these are the rules here, and we will get to the rules, but if you have any specific questions at this stage, maybe I will request Yasin to ask.
So we do have a question from Balakrishna Arora. So they're asking that, so DG start batteries are type 2. So DC batteries are diesel generator batteries. So are they type 2 batteries? So type 2 batteries is automotive. Do they come diesel generator batteries? Do they come in type 2 batteries? So basically diesel generators are used for to start and power diesel generators.
Yes. Yeah, so those obviously it's automotive kinds because it is not running the entire generator. Generator is running through the diesel engine, but the diesel engine has to start. Now, the other logic could be, is that an industrial battery? If you are sitting inside an industry, maybe
UPS, inverter, as well as MHE. So are they applicable?
So this is generally an industrial battery. Forget the battery type for 1 minute. Just look at what is the usage. The usage is inside an industry. It is for the UPS. It is for something backup and everything. You are putting it in a factory. So it is an industrial installation. So it is an industrial battery.
Some sound issues.
Sorry.
Some audio sound issues that they're not able to hear us.
Can you hear me? If you can hear me, can you give a thumbs up? Yeah, they can. Maybe.
Not able to hear you sound.
Okay, Divya Malhotra. Divya Malhotra, can you hear? Can you hear Divya Malhotra? Okay, most of the people are saying yes. I think we should go forward. Maybe when you talk, no, because you're using one mic. So
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Any other question?
A question again from Jitendra Das. They're already having battery waste management EPR for lithium-ion battery 2023-2028. They're looking for recyclers authorized from CPC.
Yeah. So that's where we can help you. But those are specific things that you can reach out to us separately, and we'll take it from there. You have our email IDs and contact details, so it will be a good idea to do the same. So now we will move to the rule book, the 22nd August notified rule, and we'll take you through this. And some of them we will move faster because the presentation covered most of the big ones. But in terms of targets and everything, there are certain tables that we will stop and look at. Okay. So if you see, this is 22nd August, and it has come into Gazette already. So it's come into force. An application is to all producer, dealer, consumer entities involved in collection, segregation, transportation, refurbishment of and recycling of waste battery. All type of battery, regardless of chemistry, shape, volume, is covered, and only two sets of places where they're saying they've given liberty. One is in where we have supplied essential security, military defense purposes, and equipment designed for sending to space. So, and then there are certain definitions: what is a battery, what is the automatic battery, what is the battery pack, what is the cell, what is end of life battery, what is EPR. I think most of you may know what is EPR because no, you dealt with electronic waste and plastic waste. There are certain hazardous waste application also, because there are some 3 or 4 uh, heavy metals which have to be managed separately. That's why there is a word hazardous waste also, which is applicable. Industrial battery is designed for which is excludes portable battery, an electric vehicle battery, an automotive battery, and portable battery. So basically, everything other than these three categories comes into the category of industrial automatically. Okay, and the important thing here is the producer. So definition of producer is manufacturer and sale of battery, including refurb battery, including any equipment under its own brand, or sale of battery, including refurb battery, including equipment under its own brand produced by another manufacturer. So either you're manufacturing it yourself or getting it manufactured by another. If you're putting your brand, you are responsible. And the third thing is that you're importing battery as well as equipment containing battery. So if you're importing a battery, whether you are not selling the battery, you are using it for your own use, industrial use. You are a consumer of an imported battery. And equipment containing battery, which means that, let's say, laptop contains batteries. So that is an equipment. So you, other than e-waste of which is coming into the country, you're also responsible for battery which is coming into the country. So just remember that. Okay. There are public waste management authorities which are also responsible. However, I'm not too sure, they don't have a definitive role to play here. They don't have to register. However, they can deliver to you, let's say, segregated batteries. If suppose, let's say, from my society, the batteries are going into hazardous bin and somebody is collecting it, and then they're giving it to municipality is keeping it separately. You can go and collect it as a recycler, you can pick it up. If you are a brand owner or if you are a producer, you can take it and give it to recycler. Recycler means the one who's recycling it. Refurbisher is the one who is increasing the life of the battery, so it's called refurbisher. And the schedule I've already spoken to you about, two types of schedule, 1 and 2. Used batteries, you also know, in terms of off-spec battery is also considered used battery. Pre-consumer battery is also considered used battery. Expired battery is also considered used battery, waste battery, and discarded by user is also. So all of them are required. Functions of producers, Yasin has covered it very nicely in this 15-point slide. So I'm not going to take you through that. This part is also covered in terms of using recycled content in the future of in 2027 in producing new batteries. As I mentioned, public waste management authorities can hand over batteries to recyclers or brands, or the producers in this case. And so there are functions of each of them. So functions of recycler, functions of producer, functions of refurbisher, functions of all those people. So there is a recovery target for batteries, which by year. So you have to recover this much batteries in general, and recovery of minimum percentage target is percentage of total weight or dry weight, materials out of dry weight of the battery recycle, and shall be mandated for minimum recovery of battery materials mentioned in the table below. Now, this is a target from 24 onwards, which is portable battery 70%, automotive batteries 55, industrial 55, electric vehicle is 70. So this is a very generic initial table, but if I go forward from that, there is a specific table for different types of batteries within that. Okay, so I'm just going to go into that space directly. So these are the different functions continuing. Also environmental compensation, but and there is a, as Yasin mentioned already, that there is a portal, CPCB portal, like the portal which has been given for e-waste and plastic waste. So same thing applies. Schedule 1 is to take care of labeling and taking care of return of hazardous materials, ROHS, or you can call it as how to limit the amount of heavy metal in the batteries. So any battery which is placed before till 2025, some clarity has been given for silver zinc oxide battery, which is the button cells that is allowed for medical equipment and emergency alarm system. So this is on the hazardous metal side. But on the labeling side, there is a specific requirement of the size of the label which has to be placed in the on the battery, especially mentioning about mercury, cadmium, and lead. And it has to be mentioned that crossed out wheel bin, which means that you cannot put battery into the regular bin. And you also have to mention CD, cadmium, mercury, and lead in the label, saying that these are the heavy metals inside the battery, whatever is applicable. Now, Schedule 2 has targets. These targets are a very long list of 10 years, which is a cycle that has been provided to you. It's called compliance cycle. So for each battery type, for example, portable battery in consumer electronics, which are rechargeable, this is the target that is there. Now, let me cover one of this table, and then balance you can understand. So the compliance cycle starts from the last year, which is 22-23, and goes for a period of 10 years. So if you see year 22-23, then the last year here will be 2032-2033. Okay, so there's a 10-year thing. Now in this 10 years, everything that you have produced and basically sold has to be recovered. That is the first thing which is on the right hand side. So it says that collection of 100% of the waste battery and refurbishment of 100% of the waste battery is mandatory in the 10-year compliance cycle at the end of 10th year. Okay, so in this 10-year compliance cycle, all the batteries that have gone in, they have to be recovered. However, now that is the overall thing. That means in the last 10 years, you have produced 10,000 tons. But in the year 2017, let's say, and your battery life is 5 years. So let's say in the year 2017, before that, they don't ask. So even if the battery life is 7 years, you will only take the period starting from 2017, because all the solid waste rules had come only from that time. So 2017 is applicable for e-waste also as a starting year. So however amount of quantity you placed in the market in 2017, out of that you have to recover 50% of that in this year, in 22-23, for the portable battery in consumer electronics only. This table is only for that category. So this number keeps going up. So for the next year, you will have to look at the next year, which is 2018-19, and recover 60% of that. Now you may ask me that what happens to the balance 50%? Okay, so you should look at the column on the right hand side, which says 100% you have to recover. You just have been given more time to recover less in the beginning, because the market is not ready, the recycler may not be ready, the entire ecosystem may not be ready. Otherwise, it goes all the way to 70%. Minimum is 70, but you have to complete all your 100. Okay, so this continues. If you see in 2032-2033, collection of 100% continues. However, there is one more thing that has been given to you at the end of the cycle, which is 2032-2033. Let's say in the previous 10 years, you had accumulated a sold total of 1,500 metric tons. You can still carry forward your liability to the next cycle to some extent. Okay, you can carry forward the liability to the next cycle. Okay, so yeah, thanks. So you can see that this is applicable. This is one of the applications. Now then it goes to battery of consumer electronics which are chargeable, other than consumer electronics, portable, but not not in consumer electronics. The details remain the same, if you see, more or less, But where it changes is here. For example, automotive battery. Okay, you see that it is showing here 30%. So you can start with 30% in the case of automotive batteries. Automotive means automotive starting batteries, which will start an auto. Because there is a huge volume. Automotive vehicles are huge quantity, so there is not so much of recyclers available for automotive batteries to take care of 30% of the 2019-20 year. So you can see, but it goes much higher than the case of the portable batteries. You have to actually take care of 90% every year on year. So there it was 70, here it is 90. Okay, and you can only carry forward 20%. There it was, you can carry forward 60%. Now here you can carry forward only 20%. And industrial batteries, the minimum starts from 40, okay, goes all the way to 70, and you can carry forward 60. And in the case of e-waste batteries, you have to do 70% right of last year. Now, why? Because the EV is a new phenomena last few years. So e-rickshaw, for example, 70% you have to do, and then for vehicles, two-wheelers, again 70%. And but it starts from 2026, 2027, because most of the two-wheelers have come in recently in the last year or so. So the batteries have not come into the market. The end of life of those batteries have not happened yet. So therefore, the targets are being given from 2026 onwards. And finally, for four-wheelers, the targets are from 2029 onwards, because it's expected that maybe the batteries may last 7 to 10 years. So 70% of the same. It goes all the way to just 70% only, because no, maybe that you cannot recover all of that. So then it comes about how to what are the different fields in form 1A, B, C. So this is form 1A, this is form 1B, and then this is form 1C. This is a very simplistic form. This is a very simplistic form. So it is not so simple to put all these details at this. So all the form 2s are for the recycler. So we're not talking about form 2s. Form 1s are all basis the producers. So there is also, and it's also on our website, there is also a SOP for producers, and there you have a lot of details on what all you have to feed in. So you can see you have to talk about battery composition, you have to talk about HSN codes of battery, battery type, battery name, battery brand, sorry, and then it talks about battery type, and it talks about sales data, and then that is also calculated back into material. It's broken down to the key materials like lithium ion, zinc, nickel, lead, cobalt, and all those things, right? And composition breakdown has to be given, and there is a material balance that has to be created. So you have to, when you say a battery is actually a set of few casings and certain anode cathodes and certain ionic solution. It could be dry or it could be wet, but those things are different materials, and maybe the casing could be plastic, maybe inside there could be zinc and cobalt, and maybe it may also have lead and other things. So each of them have to be materially balanced. Okay, it talks about how to look for how to fill and how to take care of your registration requirements. There is one more specific things that we will not go into details today, but there is an instruction sheet for producers which can be no which can be dealt by some of your uh, chemistry type of people, which talks about the material balance. So for example, there is a material balance that one has to show in the case of, if you can see my screen, for all the different type of batteries, the composition has to be declared, and then there is each of them, each composition has a what you call a certain breakdown uh, in the HSN code, and a breakdown of what are the different elements. So there is no, there are elements that you have to break it down to. For example, a lead acid battery can have lead, zinc, and maybe plastic. So you'll have to mention that, and then you have to break it down. So if you see a lead acid has 65 lead. Now this is just a example. Maybe a 25 other metals and 10 is plastic. So you have to break it down 100% to be broken down into different materials, and then aggregated as to how much lead is going out, how much plastic is going out, how much other material is going out, lithium ion, lithium, nickel, whatever ion. And then recovery is against that. Recovery is against these different materials and not on the overall basis. So it's a little complicated in terms of recovery and recycling, and you can see there are a lot of details here. I will not be able to take all of that in this short call. We are already on time, so I'm going to stop and take questions.
So we have a few more questions.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, we do have a poll section towards the last. So, a question from Udit Baga: how would batteries used in Bluetooth devices such as earphones, etc., be treated? So, basically the batteries in Bluetooth devices are rechargeable lithium-ion batteries. So, it comes under portable.
Yeah.
concern.
Yeah. So any electronics which has batteries, they have to also take care of battery use, right? Yeah.
A question from Divya Malhotra: is it required to submit EPR plan by producer who is not a manufacturer?
Yes, if you're putting your label on it, if you're putting a brand logo on it, that I am a producer and my name is let's say Exide, but I don't make Exide batteries. Somebody else makes the Exide batteries for me. Okay, so that no, that responsibility lies with you. Okay, go ahead.
That's the two questions.
There is some poll that we have just put out. Maybe if you could please get to the poll and just click one of those whatever you think is the most uh, biggest challenge that you face or your company faces implementing battery waste rules. So just if you could use that for our own knowledge, so that we know what are the big issues that you can are there. So we are saying, what are the main challenges your company faces in implementing? So could you please put your vote there? Can you see the poll in front of you? You can see the poll. So I can see some 10 people who have already put some comments there, put their vote there, and this is the result. So the result is that lack of awareness and information about battery waste regulation is the biggest challenge right now. That's what we're trying to address through this webinar. But it will be nice if you reached out to us in case you are having batteries that you import in your company, use it for your industrial purposes, or making some products and stuff like that. We will be able to definitely manage that for you. Okay. Do you have any more questions? So one question that we had was, do you have is any of you already using getting into the battery waste rules and already using the battery waste rules, registered themselves? How are you managing your battery waste? Okay, so I think some people are saying that you're not managing your battery waste at this point in time, and it is totally understandable that it is not. But with my next question would be, with this webinar, um, with this webinar, do you think that battery waste is applicable to you? And the answer could be yes or no, because we have now explained you what the applicability is. So, do you think that with this webinar, whatever you listened to just now, do you think that battery waste is applicable to you? And I'm requesting this time all the people, 30 people who are on the call right now, please just say yes or no, because that is the whole idea, that you should have the clarity that it is applicable or not applicable. If it's applicable, then you please say yes. If it's not applicable, please say no. But please say one of these, because there are 30 of us, and it's a short attendance. But it is 30 of us on this call. It will be nice to know. How many of them have said inputted?
17 out of 30.
Yeah, I'm still requesting the other 13 to please say yes or no. Please take just 1 minute, maybe 10 seconds to tell whether it is applicable to you or not, you and your company. Yes or no?
More questions.
Yeah, so I think 15 out of 18 people who have said that it is applicable, and 3 are saying that it is probably not applicable. So that is a very good. At least we've reached the right set of people that you feel no, it's applicable. So if you know, the last question is that, do you want to know more about it? And if you want to, then you can say yes, and we can reach out to you. If you are interested to know more about the applicability specific to your products, then what Yasin can do is you can reach out back to Yasin, and he can set up a one-to-one VC or a call with you, and so that you can simply understand more about your products. And so I mean, out of the 18 people that have voted, 15 of you who think that it's applicable to you, it will be nice to know out of those 15 if you would like to know more about it, and you would like to know, you don't want us to contact you at all, it's fine, that is fine too. And to the 7 or 8 people who are saying yes, as I'm seeing the poll is happening, can you please type your email ID here, so that Yasin can reach back for one-to-one session. Yeah, so I'm just saying at the end that Yasin has an email ID he has broadcasted to everyone. I have put a question. Can you please type in your email ID here? To those people who think that it's applicable, you would like to know more about it. Very happy to have a one-to-one session with you and to clarify to whatever extent we can. And please just type in your name and other details. So I think there are 12 of you who have said that you like to know more about and its applicability to your specific products, because though your questions, your products may not have got answered specifically. My request is just give us your email ID, and we will reach back to you. Okay, so
Last two more questions.
yeah, so I can see Synergy and I can see Lenskart, Amresh Kumar, Synergy Technocrats. Okay. Any other question? Last
The
question.
last questions we have. Few people were requesting to share the PPT as well as the Excel sheet where we have the links and all.
Yes.
So it will be available in the website soon.
Yes, absolutely. So like we have done in the case of e-waste, we have a full page which has all the entire thing, including the presentation and everything. So like we have this, we will also create one for today's webinar, including the presentation and everything, so that you can have a look. You can definitely have a look and download. So for example, you can see here, this was for the e-waste. So if it is there for the e-waste, it will be there for the battery waste as well. Just you have to give us a little bit of time, maybe 2-3 days, and it will be available. Like for example, here you can see the presentation right here, as far as e-waste is concerned, which was conducted last time. Okay, any other last questions?
How can we be the alkaline battery recycler?
How can we be an alkaline battery recycler? As in, you want to become a recycler?
Yes, the person wants, Mirali Modi wants to be a recycler.
Okay. So maybe you can, keep, write specifically to Yasin, and then we'll take it up.
Question from Satyam Gupta. What are the rules for bulk consumers?
Okay, so there are no specific registration requirements for bulk consumers. You have to, you just have to give it to authorized recyclers. That's all it is. So at this point in time, the CPCB, this particular rule book does not cover, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much for this, and thanks to have come to this webinar. Thanks Yasin and the backend team who could put the entire thing together. This is already on live on the YouTube as well, so you can always go back and see on the YouTube within an hour or so. It will be edited and posted. And if you need any help, it will be very nice for you to just write to Yasin Munir at proindia.net, and we will have a one-to-one session. We'll be happy to take your requirements. If your registration requirements are there, we'll be happy to connect you with our recyclers, which is all India available, and we will be able to take care of your EPR registration and also recycling certificates that you may need. So with that, thank you very much, and we're going to close the session now. Thanks to attending this session. Thank you. This is Amit Saha. Have a great day.